what do I going to implement? We all see problem of pollutions, whether it's plastic or other things. We have a human life that has an impact on planet.
It's hard to measure like pros and cons.
People's lives should be improved, and a lot of things must be done.
But when it comes to act, it lacks of motivation.
It's working like Uber, making Uber for recycling.
Our project is not about technology, it's about changing the consciousness and mind.
You can put there some plastic bottles and receive some rewards.
Making recycling behavior, recycling experience injudgeable and profitable for all participants.
Change the ideology of the whole generation.
That was the main thing, is blockchain at the end brings you that transparency and that traceability.
It's very interesting because this opens a new era in crypto and maybe it will be a new hype train. Okay, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Juma Mubarak. We are back to Dubai with our Green Falcon team from long trip in Singapore, Malaysia and Nepal. And here are our guests and partners who are onboarding on the Green Falcon sustainable blockchain and talk about their projects. And we also raise some interesting issues and trends in sustainability. So let's start it. Let's start with our dear foreign French guest. Bonjour, Eric.
Bonjour.
So introduce yourself, tell about your project and how we are going to work with Green Falcon.
Yeah, so thanks for having me and thanks for partnership that we are kicking off. So I'm the founder of Zloop, which is a reward platform for the circular economy that has several ways to onboard individuals to practice eco-friendly gestures. So we have a mobile application where people are rewarded with our utility token for collecting a used plastic bottle or to collect trash everywhere, and they are rewarded on the steps. And we have also a plastic credit platform supported by NFT techno, just for the traceability, not for the speculation of the NFT, but to have a real transparency of what we do. So we use Web3 technology to enforce and embed adoption of all eco-friendly gestures.
Thank you very much. Let's proceed with Maxsler, the legendary man in crypto, the OG investment banker and the true green heart.
Yes, thank you. We just arrived from a long trip, and so I'm happy to be back to Dubai. And thank you for inviting this interesting conversation. So I'm Max Leiter. I'm nowadays general manager for XT.com exchange for MENA and CIS regions. And we started interesting program. We pack evaluate intellectual property packet and put after in connected token and blockchain, then sell it in our exchange as a tool for intellectual property, and in this case, we will be very helpful to Green Falcon because we have the 7.8 million users, which is interesting in such amazing projects like Green Falcon. And of course, when we were in countries like Nepal, you see that people's lives should be improved, and a lot of things must be done. And Green Falcon is one of the way how to do it, how to make life of people better. And I'm very happy that I'm in a team of Green Falcon as advisor. So.
Thank you very much. Let's proceed with Sergey. We were meeting him at the previous podcast, perfect platform Bank Go, and now we are starting to implement it on the top of the Green Falcon blockchain and going to implement it in such countries as Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Nepal. Tell us about your project. Introduce yourselves one more, and what does
I'm
it
happy to
use?
be here with you guys one more time. So I'm Sergey. I'm co-founder of Impacton platform by Bengo. Our platform it's working like Uber, making Uber for recycling, making recycling behavior, recycling experience injudgeable and profitable for all participants, like usual persons, businesses, and for it we are using a scope of technologies. we're a technological company, so we're focusing on using technologies as well as blockchain technologies to involve as much as possible people in recycling. For us, it's our business goal and our mission when we are transforming recycling in a profitable experience for all participants. And I'm really happy to be a part of founding team of Green Falcon because I see that it's big perspective. It's big perspective for all industry. When we're talking about recycling, we're talking not only about the ESG agenda. We're also talking about resource management in close future. And out of technologies like blockchain, which provide traceability and transparency, I'm sure it's not possible. That's why I'm happy to be with you.
Perfect. Let's waste, not be wasted. Yes, like your
Waste,
slogan
not
is going.
wasted.
That's good. That's good. So let's talk something about current issues in ESG and sustainability agenda. What are the challenges? What are the problems now worldwide, and how can we sort them out together? What do you think, Eric? Because you're from Europe, and Europe is most advanced in terms of sustainability and ESG. What challenges do you see there, and how can they be solved?
I think there is two level of challenges. The level for businesses, maybe in Europe, yes, regulation is pushing more companies to start to look after ESG and so on. So then is a learning path. They declare their intention. I want to be more green, so they do a nice website. Then after, they say, what is the resource? So usually the ESG manager is someone comes from HR or from HSE, doesn't know what to do. So then there's a question, is what am I going to do? So what do I going to implement to engage my company, to engage my people? So from a nice vision, yes, I want to do better. When it comes to put hands on, it's very challenging. And as soon there's challenges because of sanitary crisis, energy crisis, and so on, or reorganization of the organization, the focus is back to the business, and the sustainability aspect is put aside. So that is a great challenge, lacking on focus on implementing things. And for individuals, is also, we all see problem of pollutions, whether it's plastic or other things. We have a human life that has an impact on planet. A lot of people say, yeah, it should be better. I should do anything. But when it comes to act, it lacks of motivation. So we need to bring also ways to increase that motivation, whether it's because awareness, I do it because it's good for the planet, because maybe I do it because I also want to have a reward. And it's our approach in Bango, in Zloop, we reward people. And then you leverage every tools to get people joining, because you have only one planet and we have to do something about it.
Absolutely. There is no planet B. And as you know, there are two types of green agenda. One is voluntary, and another one is obligatory. Voluntary is being applied by the governments. Obligatory is being applied by the governments, like some kind of lump sum tax on carbon footprint, say 2 or 5%, just to add it to the check. And voluntary is another agenda where people themselves are caring about the nature. Now, what do you think is the best way, or they can be combined? And what are the pros and cons of each of these approaches? Obligatory and voluntary. What do you think, Sergey?
It's hard to measure like pros and cons of these approaches because it have to be complementary. In my point of view, it have to be complementary. For sure, conscious people who are by their own efforts, by their own motivation, included in green movement, make some actions for cleaning planet, for expand responsible consumption, first of all. It's very important because it's showing us that these people exist, this motivation exists. But obligatory approach, it more works, I think, for businesses, Businesses, they focusing on like profit. First of all, it's nature of business. It's fine, and I think that one of the best way in this case make eco-friendly practices and responsible management of resources in businesses profitable for businesses by some regulations for sure and by providing abilities. I see the solution in using technologies in this way. Then we are, as a technology companies, as innovators, suggest businesses some technological solutions which can switch some their expenses into their profit. In this case, and with support of government and other entities, make it necessary to use. I think so.
That's a perfect point. This is actually the idea which I'm promoting, that our project is not about technology, it's about changing the consciousness and mind of the people to make them more responsible, not to rely upon the third parties as governments and big corporations, because everyone must be responsible in terms of their actions. And here comes blockchain, because blockchain is peer-to-peer platform where all people are equal and all of them are equal peers, and they're connected on one platform and one ecosystem, and they make voting solutions and decisions on the top of that. So our goal, our ikigai, so to say, is to change the ideology of the whole generation. And it will be quite challenging and hard idea, because many VCs and investors, they need fast money. Just take it, earn some money, make pump and dump and forget about it. On the contrary, our project is going to be more fundamental and long run and more suitable for more consciousness and sustainable approaches in businesses and investing. And here comes, by the way, AI. I was talking to one of our new partners and advisors. Soon we'll make a podcast with him. He's working with super artificial intelligence, and he's going to make a visionable kind of visualization of how this project will affect humanity, how decisions will be affected, how their health will be affected, and then how all these items are co-integrated with each other: governments, corporations, people actions, and climate, etc. And AI will show such model and long-run returns for big sustainable and conscious investors into this project. By the way, what do you think about such an issue as AI and sustainability and the ESG? What do you think, Sergey? Because I thought you had some ideas about decentralized AI. How can it be implied in a green agenda?
Yeah, we can say that accordingly that ESG practices are increasing and evolving in more and more places in our life. We are we're facing every time the lack of transparency in frameworks, about frameworks accordingly which someone can measure positive impact, different kind of positive impact. It's very diversified things, and we see ability to set these frameworks for sure, which can be implemented through AI as a more sensitive and more flexible tool, technological tool now. So it can be placed on blockchain, like combination of AI and blockchain. Then imagine that these frameworks for calculation, like carbon credits, plastic credits, solar credits, recycling credits, they placed on blockchain, and everyone have access to this framework, can use it like from their small issues for their big businesses, but anyway it's transparent how this measurement provided and how this measurement can be implemented in each case. That I see a big advantage for combining blockchain and AI technologies for this case.
That's a good idea. So your point is that there is no one well-spread standard for ESG reporting? All countries have their standards, right? So there is some house, yes?
They have their standard or no standard yet.
That's a good idea. Maybe we'll change the situation. And as far as I remember, there are also no good platforms and tools for ESG reporting and measurement, right? So all those big names, auditors, Big Four, etc., they just work in manually in Excel. Is that right, Eric? How it is working in Europe?
I think there is different level of maturity. If you take the regulation comes, just if I take an example in France, companies above turnover of 40 million have an obligation to have an ESG report. But this is an obligation, doesn't say which format of so you have some content and so on, and it's driven also because now if you want to get finances, if you want to report to your board and so on, you need to put that in shape and so on. But you see that is still everyone does what it does. When you look at carbon footprint, you have tools, but you need to look at consultants and you define just the boundaries, how far you look at your carbon footprint and so on you can play with. So some are a bit more advanced, you use support and some tools and so on, but it's quite, primitive and not yet fully aligned.
Maybe we'll change it somehow with our green oracle on the blockchain. I've got some ideas. We'll publish this soon. And definitely blockchain and crypto will bring fresh air and fresh blood to this market. Max, what do you think about sustainability in crypto, blockchain, and cryptocurrency exchanges? How are they keen on green agenda, sustainability, ESG reporting, etc.? What do you think about projects and exchanges?
Look, so nowadays crypto people most of all like as you say scheme go up a little bit,
Pump
down,
and down,
go
yeah.
up a little bit. I don't like pump and dump, because it sounds like some scam,
Right.
that's not scam. Nowadays there are a lot of interesting coins which is supported by community. And in this case, I'm gonna say that for Green Falcon, also very important thing that some Green Falcon will be support of community, and it definitely will be happened because first of all, you will educate community how to be environmentally friendly and environmentally friendly not only for planet but also for themselves. Because you Green Falcon project, which supports people who are sustainable for planet to earn some funds, earn some bonuses to themselves. So that's how to say, from both sides, it's win-win situation. And another thing, I wanna add some thoughts on previous topic, because so now when we go to road and they're gonna cross road when it's traffic light, we don't think about how to do it. We just wait for green light. End of story. So when we see red light, we stop. When we see green light, we go. Well, sometimes some people do not do like that, but there are a lot of such people in cemetery. But originally, maybe 99% people follow these rules. And also in the world of nature, should be the same rules. If you have bottle, you drink your bottle. Please don't throw it away. Just put it somewhere to recycling. And so that's big educational project. And so that will be huge community which will support it. And of course, if some community support it, your token of Green Falcon will be very, very successful.
Perfect point. Very good example about red lights and green lights. Yes, we are not thinking about anything how to cross the road. We just follow the rules. Some instincts.
And rules, so in your head. And another interesting story. So in modern countries, education of children, it's happened from beginning. So if you ask a child 3 years old, so how to cross road, you say, okay, first of all, wait green light or go to a special equipped place, and don't go road in the middle of nowhere, because this education from childhood, and also we should add such education from childhood.
And gamification.
Absolutely, gamification is number one for child, and by the way, for bigger people.
And also rewards, because unfortunately people will not do anything if they don't have any reward for that, regardless of how good these things are.
I've got example in this case. So in place where I live, there is supermarket with a stand. You can put there some plastic bottles and receive some rewards. And so one day I thought, look, I have a lot of empty bottle. Let me try to do it, and I did it. That was really fun. It was really fun. But
And that is our philosophy.
yes,
And you
yes,
can do
yes.
that worldwide with Zloop. You can do it worldwide.
And
On that
also-
place, but everywhere when you go.
Absolutely. And one friend came to me to my villa, and I say, where I should put the plastic bottle? I say, there, this big bag. I say, why not here? Why you have special bag in your yard to put the plastic bags? I say, no. I will take this bottle. I go to supermarket and put it a special.
Great. You're already changing your mind. Have you used Zloop, by the way? We are all living in UAE and Zloop is working here. Try to use Zloop next day.
Of course.
And
of
Bank
course.
Go. For
And
Some broken
to take over that image on the traffic light, you have mentioned about community, you have mentioned about education. Yes, because if you don't know what is a traffic light, even if you have to be educated. Yeah, don't cross the street anywhere. Wait,
least.
go where there's a traffic light, where there's a zebra, and wait for the red light. So the red light is the technology that we provide.
Yeah.
It's to say when it's red, when it's yellow, when it's green. And the way we want to use the blockchain is exactly the same thing. The blockchain and tokenization and so on is the traffic lights, is the enabler, but is not the purpose of the project. And many
Absolutely.
projects in using blockchain and tokenization have forgotten that. Their aim was to make a token, make money, walk away, and so on, without having a project which is in the real life. So obviously it's virtual. At the end, it collapses because there is no purpose, there is no utility. A token has a utility, and all what we do, we use different enablers, gamification, education, blockchain, tokenization, NFT is also a sort of tokenization, obviously. But we use that as an enabler, an underlying layer, the front layer to the user. It's action in the real life. You do something good for the planet, something good for the environment, something good for yourself. You are rewarded by consideration by the community. You are rewarded by rewards, by benefits and so on. And that's the main philosophy that we want to amplify by joining forces, because we have actions, but just alone, you only touch a small community. Together, it's not 1 + 1, it becomes 1 + 1 = 3, 4, 5. The maths become new maths.
And the interesting example. Thank you very much for extending this point. And another thing, so we said about traffic light and the zebra, yeah? So traffic light is real technology. A zebra is also technology, but very, very primitive. You just put zebra on road.
Nudging.
End of
Nudging.
story. End of story. But so people sometimes ask, why we use such difficult technology, blockchain? Oh, you don't need it, blah, blah, blah. Come on. Forget about it, So go to the road and see what's much easier to cross road, to have zebra or to have traffic light. Zebra is technologies of zero layer, traffic light is technology of second layer and even third layer, End of story. So of course, when we use technology, life is going much easier and interesting,
More effective.
and safety.
Safety. More effective.
Safely.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's a good point. And let's discuss why blockchain is required in all this stuff. Let's start, for example, from such a popular market as market for carbon credits. That it is not very transparent. There are lots of greenwashing and huge profit margin by carbon credit dealers who are middlemen behind the green projects and companies and individuals. Eric, can you explain in simple words what term greenwashing means, why it occurred, and how to avoid it?
Well, greenwashing is I pretend that I do something green. I just I declare that I have made action to reduce my footprint, my impact, and so on. And if you dig at the reality, there's no change. There's many example companies that say, with that product I use this material that is greener and so on. And when you look at the facts in terms of full life cycle analysis of the material or the product, it's actually worse than before. But it's pretended that is greener, which is so assessment of how is green can be manipulated by just pure marketing with no solid ground behind that supporting the claim that is greener. So that is greenwashing.
That's good idea. And how do you think can blockchain solve this issue?
Not for all the things, but blockchain, the beauty of the technology is is transparency. Already mentioned that, but transparency and traceability is the key functionality. I come from the packaging industry. I worked in companies that we sell complete lines to produce plastic bottles, fill glass bottles or cartons and so on. It has an impact, and I discovered the blockchain. I was like, oh, what is the great animal, and we started to invest on a startup of that, and that was the main thing is blockchain at the end brings you that transparency and that traceability. You know who is polluting, where is this collective, and so on. So that avoids greenwashing. Why in Zloop I could use a point system like many other solutions. I use a blockchain because when I say my user have collected 2 million of bottles, because I give a token for every transaction, you can see on the ledger of the blockchain that is the same equivalent in tokens given, because 2 million will be 200 million of tokens distributed. So I can't fake the fact that, and I've got attached to every transaction a picture and so on. So I've got that full traceability and I've got that full transparency. So I can't greenwash and pretend that they have collected 20 millions of bottles where I've only distributed 200 million bottles. So that's the thing. Transparency is the thing. Everybody can check. When I do plastic credit, if I say I sell 200 certificates for 1 ton, 10 tons of plastic collected, you only see 200 certificates on the blockchain. You don't see 250 that I would have oversold. Then it would be bullshit. That is really the benefit of the blockchain, that transparency and traceability.
That's perfect idea. And also there is another point related to double spending. So blockchain was initially invented to avoid a problem of double spending of digital asset. Means that if you send it to one party, you will not send it to another party. And the general problem with carbon credits, why majority of community is aware about that and don't like them, is a problem of double spending. Then carbon credit is spent in several places because it is not retired on time, and blockchain can solve the problem by smart contract, by programming the pre-programmed retirement of the carbon offset, so it will be burned and it will not be double spent anywhere else. Like shadow carbon credits brokers love to sell the same number of carbon credits to several parties. So
Yeah,
in the same time.
exactly.
So this problem really exists, yes?
No traceability, you can do everything. I can sell you the same certificate. You don't know I sold to you, so you buy it, but you bought the same thing. I make more money, of course.
Maybe that is why traditional carbon credit registries are afraid of blockchain, like from fire, because they cannot trick there, like the case was with the biggest carbon credit registry, Vera, 1 year ago in Guardian, where it was found that 90% of the biggest carbon offsetting project was useless. and many corporations put those carbon credits on their books and increased CO2 emission. And so, in fact, we have negative impact upon the nature and upon the planet. So blockchain will also solve that. Another interesting issue to discuss is itself to make blockchain more sustainable and green, because blockchain technology initially was very toxic, especially related to Bitcoin proof of work mining. It consumes lots of electricity. What do you think? How to make our Green Falcon blockchain maximum sustainable and carbon neutral?
You want to comment?
What do you think, Sergey? I think you have some ideas. We discussed it before.
For sure. First point we'd have to discuss it: energy, the sources of energy which have to use for working equipment. It's very clear question, and what we have to care to identify sources of energy. Is it from renewable energy or not? In this case, I see ability also using blockchain, which can be integrated into energy production companies and provide us as a consumers transparent information, which part of energy from which kind of sources we use, and provide us ability to manage it somehow. Second one approach that I see as one of effective solution. It's combining of information in more bigger like blocks. Here's some issues with transparency of this information, but bigger blocks technologically use less energy to create it and to manage this information. So it looks like some features that we have to count and explore while building Green Falcon blockchain.
That's a very good idea, because we're gonna launch it on renewables in such countries in Indonesia, Bhutan, by the way, and other countries using renewables actively, and in Masdar city in UAE on solar powers. So from this point of view, it will be quite sustainable. As for blocks, I think need to investigate more. It also can be decided, and we all are in fact having good projects like Zloop, Bango, Green Tips. They all be united by the blockchain for transparency, for absence of double spending, for voting by the communities, and for tokenization, NFT, etc., etc. This is software which is already working, implemented, and it's got some certain value which can be estimated. So, on the contrast to other projects which are just running blockchain for the blockchain, just for the technology's sake, just for techno-fetishism, we all have real users, real transactions, and real software technologies which can be protected by patent law. And here we come to IPShares. So, let's talk to our professional in IPShares, innovator Maxsler, who got an experience, the ever first in the world, related to the portfolio of IPShares. Can you tell more about this?
Yeah, with pleasure. So first of all, we understand that there is blockchain, which is, I say that this is proof of operation. So blockchain, absolutely unique place, because you see some transactions, and you see that that transaction definitely happened. And on another way, we have intellectual property, which is usually undervalued. So what we did, so we take project and evaluate intellectual property of this project, split it, this intellectual property for small pieces, then connect these pieces to token in blockchain. And at the end of the day, we receive IP fraction token. So that's not IPShares, because this is not related to any shares. This is, we better call it pieces, or we found the word IP fractions. And in our exchange, we opened IP fraction zone in cryptic exchange, IP fraction zone, first in the world. And just 1.5 months ago, we started with one project, and this project now on trade. It has own token, and everything fine. It looks like this token recognized by digital authorities like VAR, like Security Exchange Commission, not as a token, not as utility token, not as security token. No, by the way, this token together is security, and so he has some points of security, some points of utility. Utility is because people do something, and as you reward user by this token. This is utility. And another thing, for at the end of the day, for intellectual property, you should receive royalties. That's analog of dividends on real on stock market. So in this case, it should be recognized as security. But reality is this token, which backed by intellectual property, not as token. This is tool for registration of intellectual property. It's absolutely amazing thing. And when Green Falcon will be in our exchange with their token, it will be one more token, which is 100% legitimate.
Yes, and any people from any countries can buy it because it is not crypto. It is not under crypto regulation, right?
Yes, it's not under crypto regulation. It's under regulation of World Intellectual Property Organization, which is supported 181 countries through all the world, and no one cannot permit to sell your intellectual property in full or in part. This token is related to little small part of your intellectual property. Nobody can say no, you can't sell it because some regulation. No.
This is perfect. Now it is available only on XT exclusively, this kind of section.
Yes, xt.com exchange, it's available only there.
Okay. And do you think there will be such a section at big listings like CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, named tokenized IP fractions, something like that? Like AI, like NFT, and now tokenized IP fractions.
In nearest future, definitely yes, because that's huge market, and there are a lot of projects which will be a lot of place for all around. But xt.com is the first.
Absolutely,
We'll never be the second because we're first.
Absolutely.
That's good.
And
So,
by the way, Green Falcon also #1 project, because in such what Green Falcon do, nobody else did before.
thank you very much. We will do our best, and we'll have great synergy with xt.com. So,
And the Zloop Eco Reward is already on xt.com.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Zloop is rewards tokens. And as for IPShares,
IP fractions,
IP
please.
fraction. So, IP fraction. What do you think? Can it be also sold not as exchange but P2P?
Absolutely, no problem. So, anyone can come to you and say, "Come on, I'm gonna
Just
buy."
on papers, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy not on blockchain. I'm gonna have a paper certificate. Please, I'm gonna have your stamp of your company, and real live signature of yourself as a CEO. So no problem, you can do it. But by the way, you market that this part of your intellectual property is made the registration as I would say old-fashioned way.
It's very interesting because this opens a new era in crypto, and maybe there will be a new hype train in crypto which will put crypto market to new older heights, because there are no ideas in crypto at all. They are all over.
Yes, I also say the same in conferences, and absolutely agree with you. So in the beginning, of course, the people don't understand it. What intellectual property? What is this intellectual property? I say, oh my God, is it possible? Oh yeah, but so day by day, it's
Yes,
huge market.
We are now in the world an era which is more likely to be related to intangible assets rather than tangible assets. So look at the companies like Apple, Amazon, etc. Their capitalization is much bigger. Like for example, some oil industry companies, and they don't have real assets. They got only intangible intellectual property.
You took my example, which I usually say.
Yeah, that's good. We're
Absolutely,
thinking-
so
Yeah,
and now interesting also that in the United States, so tax authorities come to businesses and say, please valuate your intellectual property. We need taxes from that.
Good idea. So government will support it.
Of course.
So this will be self-fulfilling expectation, so to say. So now next step then is to try to evaluate our software done so far. Eric, what do you think? How much Zloop intellectual property can cost? What will be the valuation? For example, you've got a history of 3 years of operations, right? Or
4 years for the app.
4
yes.
years of
Yeah.
operation. So you've got all the expenditures, accounting, etc., and raising investment and selling tokens and making corporations getting profits. What do you think from the point of view of intellectual property your company worth?
Yeah, I think the topic of valuation is always whether it's shares, whether it's IP fraction, or whether it's about tokens and so on. It's always something that is, it depends who is ready to buy and who is ready to valuate so on. So yes, there's different angle to look at intellectual property or business value and so on. Is what have you put in the business to make it happen? So what it would cost to replace it, and that is, it's already then what money you could do with that idea, whether you are strong enough or large enough to develop and so on. So it will take a bit of time to get that on that concept of IP fraction. Is why also part of the process you have also external auditor that will ask the right questions that are more qualified. I can say a value, of course, but it may be a wishful thinking value, and then it means nothing, because as long nobody accept that claim value, it's my wishful thinking. So someone has to evaluate, to say, well, I believe that yes, I've done this and this to arrive to the point where we are. We have some patent elements that were recognized as novelty and so on, but there was some elements, and the patent flow, it's very challenging also, and sometimes it's also the way you put the words are behind it. It doesn't pass. Sometimes it's a matter of luck, depending who is the examiner that will challenge your patent application and so on. So there's different elements. So you have to put that on the table, and then with different experts have a consensus of that value. And that is where then we can have an agreement of a value.
I like that. Like on that instant, your intellectual property nowadays undervalued, and I know. So in very short time, you will definitely know how much cost your intellectual property, and that impact of cost your business. That means the cost your business will be more than now. So you even not understand how to say. It's everyone know about patent law.
Yes, absolutely.
Everybody knows about copyright law. No, copyright, it's a little bit difficult, but the same as trademark, internet site, something else. But about corporate law in intellectual property, it's absolutely, let's say, nobody usually know. But it exists. It's your principle of your running business. It's a client's base and a lot of intellectual things, which is usually people even not think that it exists. But when we come with expert to a company, I say, come on, guys, not only patent, not only copyright. You have only a lot of important things in under corporate law. And when we evaluate it, so you will have your real valuation of your intellectual property by expert, which approved by World Intellectual Property Organization. That's not just regular people. That's special expert with a huge education, huge experience, and proved by.
So it's under a framework.
Absolutely,
it's under
proved
a framework.
by esteemed organization. Of course.
That's good. So, Bango also have a big story of operations, software, users, investment, etc. Green Tips as payment processing platform. Its software is existing for more than 10 years. It's a fully functional payment processing orchestration platform which will connect and unite all the projects to keep loyalty points and to make transactions, to connect gateways. So altogether, I think the reasonable valuation for the start will be around, I don't know, $10 million for each of the projects, $30 million for this intellectual property. But the time will show, because we have an experience of many projects who are putting that we cost $100 million. This is evaluation, but they don't have any product behind that. So we'll change the rules in the game, and soon we'll launch fractionized IPShares powered by the Green Blockchain altogether, and the set of products and services which then can be distributed on the franchising model to many regions. Okay, thank you. Stay tuned. Thank you for good conversations. Let's go green together with Green Falcon. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Vlad.